greetings of the day, everybody. I am Sanya from Beautiful Spotless Skin. I trust you all are maintaining your well being. Your hair is often the first thing that captures attention, and a fabulous hairstyle can truly enhance your confidence, impacting both personal and professional aspects of your life. As the winter chill sets in, it brings about noticeable changes in the air and inevitably in your hair. The colder months present unique challenges for your hair, making it crucial to prioritize its care during this season. Ensure that your hair shines bright even in the coldest season. Let's not allow the winter blues to dim the sparkle of your hair. Today, we have the privilege of connecting with Dr. Bhavuk Dhir, an expert from Delhi who will guide us through effective ways to care for our hair during the temperature drop. He is a highly accomplished dermatologist with a rich educational background and an impressive array of awards and recognitions. He did his MBBS from UCMS and pursued further specialization with an MD in dermatology from UCMS. He is certified by MRCP and DNB in dermatology. Currently, Dr. Dhir serves as a consultant and director at Dermadex Clinic in East Patel Nagar, Delhi. Doctor has received numerous accolades for his outstanding contributions to dermatology. His dedication stays at the forefront of advancement in dermatological research. In the realm of academia, Doctor had made significant contributions with 13 publications and book chapters to his credit. Dr. Dheer has a keen interest in various dermatological areas, with a primary focus on cirrhosis, vitiligo, PRP, GFC, hair transplantation, Botox, and fillers. His expertise also extends to vitiligo surgeries and acne scar surgeries. His illustrious career, coupled with his dedication to advancing dermatological knowledge, makes Doctor a respected figure in the field. Patients trust his expertise to provide comprehensive and cutting edge dermatological care. We welcome you, Doctor, and we are honored to host you today.
Thank you so much.
And, Doctor, as we are going to talk about a very important topic, that is how we can take care of our hair in this winter season. My very first question to you is, how does winter weather impact the hair health of our hair, and what are the common problems people face during this season?
So during winters, the amount of moisture or the humidity in the air goes really down. And coupled with that, the lower temperatures, the harsh cold winds that blow during this season tends to cause a lot of dryness in the hair and also damage the hair compared to the summer season. So the problems which result from this is that there's a lot of flakiness, dryness, dandruff. There is a lot of frizz in the hair, split ends, and hair become brittle during the winter season.
Okay, so these are the problems which occur in the hair during the winter season. Doctor, are there any specific hair care routines or practices that one should or one individual should follow during the winter season to keep the hair healthy?
Yes. So during winters, it is very important that we calibrate our hair care regime according to the environment and our own hair type. So you should go in for preferably shampoos and conditioners which are more moisturizing and less harsh on the hair. So you should try and go for certain shampoos which are sulfate free, preferably because they cause less dryness, and conditioners which contain ingredients like jojoba oil, argan oil, and leave on or stay on conditioners tend to help in this season. Also, something like a hair mask, deep conditioning becomes important, especially if there's a lot of dryness in the air and you yourself are exposed to such kind of a weather. So, deep conditioning once a week. The hair mask should also be a part of our daily routine during the winters.
Okay, that means, as you said, deep conditioning and moisturizing your hair is more important in winter.
Yes, definitely. Very important.
Okay, so you can apply a hair mask, or as a doctor said, conditioning your hair is important. Doctor, is it like that? If people have different hair types, like straight, curly, etc. So is it like that the different hair types react to winter conditions and are different? And are there any tips for caring each hair type?
Yes, definitely your hair type will determine the type of care you will need to put in. So for people who have straight hair, the more common problems are frizziness, and they tend to become oily faster than people who have a curly hair type. So if you have a lot of oil in your hair, then you need to maintain regular washing, and but that does not preclude moisturization. So you need to have certain moisturizing regimes even for straight hair, but slightly less intensive than that needed for a curly hair type. Also, since long hair tend to become frizzy with split ends, you should go in for regular trimming of hair. So that is also important for people who have straight hair and have a lot of frizziness and split ends. As far as curly hairs go, then curly hair become dry and they tend to lose their definition. So the hydration part becomes very important for those who have curly hair. So you should try and use leave-on conditioners after you take bath, and you don't use hot water for very hot water for cleansing your scalp. So that also tends to worsen the dryness part of it. So yes, leave-on conditioners will suit people with curly hair. That's important. Then some people suffer already from pre-existing scalp disorders, like psoriasis or dandruff, and they need to care for the hair in a different way from those who don't have such problems. Like for instance, if you have a lot of dandruff, then you have to be careful. Excess of moisturization or oiling the hair can worsen it very much. So if you have a lot of dandruff, you should probably avoid oiling your hair during this season and opt in for certain anti-dandruff preparations which are available.
Right, right, doctor. And as you have mentioned, there are different, types of hair care for different types of hair. Is it like that, washing the hair also affect the hair? Like some people wash it once a week, or twice a week, or thrice a week sometime. So what do you recommend that in winter season, how many times should one person wash their hair?
So the thing is that it is actually a myth that you should wash your hair less frequently in winter. Your hair need to be cleansed, especially the scalp part of it, because the sebum production is continuous. You are using your hair styling products, you're using sprays, and you're using everything on your hair, and that keeps on accumulating. Plus, with the sebum which is forming, your scalp gets a lot of thick layer, especially in winters when we tend to decrease the washing of the scalp. That can lead to certain scalp issues and problems like dandruff, and it can aggravate people who have scalp disorders, and it can lead to certain bacterial infections like folliculitis more frequently. So as far as washing your hair in winter goes, you should maintain the frequency of washing which you follow in summer. Probably a slight decrease is acceptable, but you should not wash it very less frequently, like once a month or once a week. That becomes too less because our sebum is continuously being produced. Unless you have a very dry scalp and there's a lot of dryness, then probably you can reduce. But following precautions during the washing of hair is perhaps more important than reducing the frequency of washing.
Right. So rather than reducing the frequency, following the precautions is good, because, as you have mentioned, that washing is important as regular washing. Doctor, as you have mentioned about the styling products as well, and sometimes people use certain practices like curling their hair or straightening their hair. So is it like that that tools should be avoided to prevent the damage of hair during the winter season?
Yes, so heat styling is something which does damage the hair. When we expose the hair to a very high temperature, the disulfide bonds become weaker and they tend to break. So it can lead to hair shedding as well as thinning and worsening of general texture of the hair. So high temperature heat styling is damaging to the hair, as is high temperature or hot blow drying of the hair. And these curling irons and straightening irons, they can also cause a lot of damage to the hair. So usually, as a standard practice, I would suggest those who have weak and fragile and brittle hair, they should avoid high temperature or heating procedures on the hair, and they should prefer air drying the hair rather than using a blow dryer. And if they do need to use, we all need to go to offices and go to work, so no one can wait the entire several hours which will need to for the hair to dry up. So you can use a normal temperature blow dryer instead of using a hot one. That is an acceptable alternative.
Okay, so it is more likely that we avoid or we use less of these techniques and products for styling our hair, as you've mentioned. The heat products are, rather not good for our hair. Doctor, sometimes also people use some, natural remedies or home remedies for the hair in winter, like applying oil and, with some ingredients. What is your take on that? Does the home remedies really work in winters?
So, hair oil is a double-edged sword. So, if you use excess of hair oil in winters, it can sometimes lead to aggravation of dandruff. So, those who have a lot of oil on their scalp already and have a dandruff problem, they should avoid using hair oil. That will worsen it. On the other side of it, people who have a lot of dryness and frizziness on the length of the hair and a lot of split ends, so these are the people who can go in for hair oiling, because hair oiling is also a type of hair conditioning. But you should be careful that you should not apply hair oil on the scalp. And if you do apply on the scalp, you should wash it off within the hour. So that is how you should try and go for hair oiling if you do like it. And obviously, hair oil massage has been a traditional part of our culture. And massaging has a lot of benefits. It increases the blood supply of the scalp, and it improves the hair texture overall. But you should be able to judge whether your hair type is suited for oiling, and preferably avoid oiling the scalp area too much. Length of the hair is definitely something you can use hair oil on.
Okay. And when we are talking about hair oil, when people see that the scalp is getting dry or they are having a lot of dandruff, the first thing they do is apply oil on their scalp only. Is it right practice to do? Because I've seen a lot of people doing it, that they have a scalp which is dry, they have dandruff. So what they do is they just apply oil on their scalp, and overnight they keep it overnight as well. So is this practice okay?
No, actually, this practice is not okay, because you might feel instantly that it has gone away, but in reality, the root cause of dandruff is Malassezia furfur fungus that is normally present on the scalp. If you use excessive hair oil on top of already a flaky scalp, that will lead to further increase in the amount of Malassezia furfur. So instantaneously, you might feel that your dandruff is getting controlled with the hair oil, but after a few days you'll note that you'll have even further increase in the amount of dandruff you're getting. So hair oil needs to be avoided if you have a lot of dandruff and flakes in your scalp.
Okay, so applying hair oil on your scalp if you have a lot of dandruff is not that okay.
Yes,
As people think that applying more oil to the scalp will not create a problem, it will solve the problem.
not true, that's a myth.
That's a myth, right? And as we are talking about hair, how to keep your hair healthy in this winter season, doctor, are there any particular type of shampoos or conditioner that are more suitable for winter hair care?
Yeah, so in winters, the shampoos, you should look for moisturizing ingredients, something like a glycerine, panthenol, or hydrating agents like argan oil, jojoba oil, and those who have a deep conditioning effect. These are the shampoos you should opt for. Again, similar ingredients in the conditioner. You can choose the type of conditioner based on your needs. One shoe doesn't fit all. So if you have a lot of dryness, frizziness, then maybe a leave-on conditioner will be a better option for you. But if you have a oily scalp, then it's better that you switch to a wash-off conditioner during the bathing part. Also, always try to use hot water, not use hot water. Hot water usage is another big problem in winters. So that is something you should avoid.
Okay, so hot water, we should not use hot water in winters. That what you said.
I mean, you can use lukewarm water. I mean, it would be a punishment to wash your hair in such a cold weather. But try not to use scalding hot water, which is releasing lots of steam. It feels good, but it's damaging to the hair. That's what important.
Right, doctor. People also take a lot of steam, to their hair with hot water, in winter especially.
No, not a good practice. Not a good practice.
Okay, so it is not a good practice, as doctor said that using uh, hot water is not good for your hair. And doctor, we also have some live viewers question who are watching this live. So there is Purvi asking, how can I prevent static induced hair breakage in winter?
So, static induced hair breakage is a concern in many people. So, the one thing I recommend is firstly using a comb which has a wide tooth, and using a wooden comb that tends to help a lot with the static induced hair breakage. Also, it has been seen that people who have a lot of static and electric part after washing the hair, they use a lot of hot blow dryers and very harsh shampoos. So you should switch to a gentler shampoo, preferably which has lesser anionic part. That is, the surfactant part is less. So what the problem is that with these gentle shampoos is not lot of lather is not formed. So people feel it's not cleaning well, but in reality, those who have a static induced hair damage, they benefit much more from these gentler shampoos which have lesser lather. Because more the lather, more is the anionic part, more is the surfactant part of the shampoo, and that will further cause static production. So these two precautions, using a gentle shampoo and using a wide tooth comb, which is preferably a wooden type, helps a lot with the static induced damage.
Okay, so using a wooden comb and not using a very harsh shampoo, a gentle shampoo would really work to prevent the static hair. Doctor, can you also provide insights into the importance of hydration for the hair during winter and how it affects overall hair health as well?
So hydration is very important in winters because the atmosphere has a lower amount of water. So you have to supplement the hydration part. It can be done in two ways. One is that you increase your water intake itself. So in winters we tend to decrease the amount of water we are having. So our body is the best guide. If we feel thirsty, we should definitely consume adequate amount of water. On an average, about 8 to 10 glasses is sufficient, and we should ensure that we are taking adequate amount of water orally. And as far as local hydration therapy goes, you need to follow hair care regimens, especially on the day you wash your scalp. On damp hair, you need to apply a conditioner or a leave-on conditioner sort of a thing, so that you can trap the moisture in your hair after you take the bath. So that is the critical time where you need to take care of your hydration.
Okay, and usually in winters, people don't drink that much of water because it's already the winter season. But as you have mentioned, that hydration is very important for the hair health, and I hope people who are watching this live and will watch this afterwards will definitely drink a lot of water because hydration is important for your hair health as well. Doctor, how does indoor heating impact the moisture levels in our hair, and what can be done to counteract its drying effects as well?
Yeah, so indoor heaters are a big culprit in this season. Especially many people are fond of sitting in front of heaters which keep on blowing dry heat all through the day. So it's bad for your hair, it's bad for your skin, and it's bad overall for your general health as well. So you shouldn't sit in dry heat for prolonged periods of time. In indoor heating systems, these days it is always preferable that you use a humidifier along with that indoor dry heating system. So maintain a humidity of around 50% in your room. However much warmth you might want to keep, but there should be sufficient moisture in the room. And this is good for your hair and even your general health. Those who have sinus problems, congestion, too much of dryness can trigger it further, cause a lot of irritation. So just be careful with the amount of humidity you maintain. If you don't want to purchase a humidifier separately, then you can keep a bowl of water next to your dry the heater, so that some amount of moisture can be maintained.
Like, right, and so many heating devices and heating process which are important in winter are not good for the hair. As we are understanding that they are not good for the hair. Doctor, we have more questions from our live viewers. So there is Kiara asking, Doctor, what measures can I take to combat static in my hair during winter?
So I think we've covered that already, that wooden comb, white tooth comb, and we should avoid using harsh cleansers. Use sulfate-free shampoos and gentle shampoos for avoiding the static in the hair.
Yes, so you can use gentle shampoos and use a wooden comb, as Doctor have already told. Doctor, there's Suhana asking, is keratin treatment is important?
So keratin treatment is, I mean, as far as hair straightening goes, we have several options in the market these days, keratin as well as Botox. And people are going in or choosing these over, straightening your hair daily. And that has obviously benefited many people because daily straightening can damage the hair, very badly. So yeah, if you want, you can go in for keratin or Botox therapies. The keratin therapy especially is said to protect the hair by providing a keratin sheet on top of it, but most of these things are not very well backed scientifically. So if you think that by doing keratin therapy you're protecting your hair, that's not true. You still have a lot of damage during the process of keratin therapy because they do drying or straightening of hair several times. So it's not like it's totally safe, but yeah, it's a better option than going in for a daily straightening. So you can go in for a keratin therapy if it's suiting your hair.
Okay, and is it like that someone should definitely consult a dermatologist, for their hair type before going for such kind of
Not really.
any kind of treatment?
Not really. I mean, as far as these therapies goes, they are, hairstylist and in their domain. I mean, it would be unfair for me to ask you to consult a dermatologist for every hair therapy you go for. These are cosmetic therapies. Whatever suits you, you can go in for that. So there is no need to, exactly consult before going in for such therapies.
Okay, okay. And doctor, as we have, you have already cleared one myth that oiling your hair excessively in winter can affect like good to your hair, but it is not like that. So, what are some common misconceptions if we are talking about hair and hair health? So, what are the common misconception about winter hair care? And can you debunk any myths related to this topic as well?
So one of the frequent misconceptions I hear patients saying is that trimming your hair in winters can worsen the dryness part of the hair. That's not true. In fact, trimming can be useful, especially for those with long hair and a lot of frizzy hair and split ends. It tends to keep that sorted. So trimming does not directly impact your hair hydration in any way. You can go in for your routine trimming. Then people, when I say that the weather is very harsh, there's a lot of cold wind blowing, you should use protective hair covers, hair hats and all these things. Then people think that hats tend to damage hair. That's not true. Hats don't damage hair. In fact, you should preferably cover your hair whenever you're planning, an outdoor event, especially in the evening and night when the weather is cold and the winds are harsh. So try to cover with a hat. You can use certain gentle materials like silk and satin. These are more gentler on the hair, so they don't cause any other issues. So you need to protect your hair while you go outdoors. And besides that, I think yeah, people think that you should wash your hair less frequently in winters. Again, that is not very true. You should continue using shampoos and washing your scalp as is a routine for you. The only thing is that you should be careful about the precautions during the washing. That's the myth that you shouldn't wash your hair in winters.
Right, and in winters, people are often scared of washing their hair because the winter season because of the cold. And as you have mentioned that covering your hair is important by any cap or something. Usually, people don't cover it because hair fall. They see a lot of hair fall after they remove the cap. So usually, people don't like it to do it. But as you have already mentioned, that covering your hair is also important. So these are some myths which you have cleared, and I'm sure that people who are watching it will definitely apply this in their lives as well. And doctor, as I mentioned about hair fall, so in winters a lot of people have hair shedding problem and excessive hair shedding problems in winter. What could be the potential causes of that, and what are the recommended solutions for that?
So, hair fall can be due to a myriad of reasons. There's no single reason for hair fall during winters. There can be several things which are causing the hair fall. The common ones are, a lot of dandruff, excessive dandruff, and seborrheic dermatitis. It can lead to a lot of hair shedding. Then certain nutritional deficiencies, biotin, protein deficiencies, and inadequate nutritional intake that can lead to worsening of hair fall. And then further, there are certain medications which can trigger hair fall. Then acute illnesses, anemia, thyroid disorders, all of these are known to cause hair fall. So we need to extensively evaluate what is actually causing the hair fall. Hormonal imbalances are also known to trigger hair fall. So there's no single cause which I can attribute. The solution will depend completely on what is actually causing the hair fall. Sometimes there's even seasonal shedding of hair. Usually during the July to August season, there's a lot of hair fall which happens seasonally. So that spontaneously resolves. So I mean, it will depend whatever is the cause, and then accordingly we can suggest the solutions for it.
Okay, and we are talking about hair fall, and we have a live viewer question. Are there any specific winter hair care products to reduce the hair fall?
So, I mean, if we are aware of what is causing the hair fall, then definitely I would be able to suggest, I mean, what is best suited. But in general, if you are having a lot of hair fall, I would suggest that use only gentle shampoos. Try to avoid sulfate content in the shampoo for people who have a lot of hair fall. And hair serums and hair masks are something which you can opt for if there's a lot of hair fall. And deep conditioning hair mask once a week with something like an argan or jojoba or honey, these ingredients, they will tend to help you out. But shampoos and conditioners per se don't have a lot of role in stopping hair fall. The root cause of hair fall, usually most commonly it is nutrition. So focusing more on the nutritional correction is something which will help you more rather than buying expensive serums and things like that.
Yes, right. So, as you mentioned about the nutritious nutrients also. So, is it like a proper diet and exercising also is correlated to the hair fall problem?
Sorry, I didn't catch your question. Can you please repeat?
Okay, any dietary precautions, or if somebody is
Yeah.
having good a good nutritious diet, so it can correlate, or it is directly related to the hair fall problem.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So a good nutritious diet is very important. Having a balanced diet is important. Hair specific nutrients, usually in the form of proteins and biotin intake, has to be improved. So if you consume egg, you should go in for regular egg consumption. At least 2 eggs a day would help you out a lot in terms of your hair, because it's a rich source of biotin. And you should increase your protein intake as well. Besides that, green leafy vegetables and nuts, they tend to help a lot with in terms of hair nutrition. Taking fresh fruits, it's very important that in winters you take good amount of fresh fruits. So all this helps and adds on to the hair nutrition.
Okay, so that means avoiding more of junk food and eating more of good food can
That's
help.
true for most health related advice. Avoid junk food and go in for healthy fresh fruits and green vegetables.
Yes, so healthy fresh fruits and green vegetable will definitely help you in reducing your hair fall problem. Doctor, there's a question from our viewer that I have split ends. How can I manage?
So easiest is get your hair trimmed regular basis. That will help in clearing out the split ends. But besides that, don't use hot water for washing your head. Use a deep conditioner once a week in the form of a hair mask. Use a leave-on conditioner after you bathe on damp hair. Don't use high temperature devices and hairstyling, excessive hairstyling. That also tends to worsen. Use a wide tooth comb instead of a fine comb. And if you have a lot of entanglement along with your split ends, try not to, be very forceful with removing that entanglement. That can further lead to split ends. So these are the precautions you should follow.
Yes, so if you're having split ends, these are the precautions which you should follow, because caring is definitely the important part. Combing your hair with a comb which is wooden. And usually we use plastic hair combs, and as doctor have already mentioned, that combing your hair with a wooden comb would definitely help. Doctor, oiling hair, as we have already discussed, but there's a question that oiling hair once a week is sufficient for the hair or not?
Yeah, actually, again, if your hair type is very dry, lusterless dry hair, which are brittle, then you can go in for hair oiling. And once a week is usually sufficient. You can even do it twice a week, but be careful not to apply it on the scalp. Try to keep it restricted to the length of the hair. And if you're applying it on the scalp, then you need to wash it as soon as possible. So before 1 hour before bathing, maybe apply the hair oil and then wash it off. That would be better method of doing it.
Yes, as we have discussed that not more than 1 hour, and overnight, as people have that thing that keeping the hair oil in overnight is not a very good practice, right, doctor?
Yeah, true.
Yes, so do not oil your hair like for overnight, because as doctor have already told, that is not so good practice. Doctor, there is a question from a viewer, that is there a connection between indoor heating and hair health during winter?
So indoor heating, as I've already discussed, that tends to bring down the moisture content. Already there's low moisture in the atmosphere, and if we go in for excessive indoor heating, dry heat especially, that decreases the moisture content further. So there's a lot of dry heat which tends to damage the hair. It causes a lot of loss of hydration from within the hair, so it's quite damaging. So you should be keep it balanced. Always have a humidifier with you in indoor heating room. That's what is important.
Right. So whenever you're heating, you have to be like careful about that, because indoor heating also affect your hair problem. Doctor, we have discussed about the problem. You have already mentioned that these shampoos or conditioner can be used. Any particular serums you would like to suggest, recommend for winter care, and or to seize winter related hair problems as well?
So, hair serums which contain ingredients which have good moisture content, such as shea butter or glycerine or argan oil. These are good, healthy contents to have, especially during the winters. So, you should look out for such products and shampoos which offer good deep conditioning effects. So, these are the ones I would recommend.
Okay, so ones with shea butter and you
Glycerine.
glycerine as well. Yes, yes. So if you're choosing your serum, these products, these ingredient should be must. Doctor, any particular active ingredient to look forward while selecting products for hair during winter?
So active ingredient you should preferably choose in consultation with your dermatologist, especially if you are having hair fall. Then I would suggest that you consult, and then according to your hair needs, we should advise active ingredients. I mean, giving a blanket statement that this active ingredient will suit your hair is something which I don't believe in. So, if you have certain issues and you're looking active pharmacological ingredients to add to your hair care regime, that should always be done in consultation with an expert. So, that I would suggest after consulting.
Okay, so after consulting, if you are having such kind of problem, do definitely consult your nearby dermatologist, because it is very important. Doctor, sometimes people also use the over-the-counter products if they are having a lot of hair fall in winter, especially, or in summers as well. They use a product which is suggested by his or her friend. That this product actually works. So, what is your take on people using such products who are suggested by their friends, and they are not getting the results as well, but they are using it because someone has already told them that it will really help?
So, I mean, we see many patients who damage their hair and their skin by using products which was recommended by the pados wali auntie. So, what I would suggest is don't. I mean, we are living in a day and age where everything is, brought forward by scientific evidence. So we have a lot of evidence based products which are available in the market. You should go in for products which have been recommended by someone who's an expert in that field. If our fridge is not working, we'll call a mechanic who's expert in that to see. So our hair is much more precious than a fridge. So if you are ready to call a mechanic for your refrigerator, then I think you should consult an expert before taking anything which has been recommended by someone who's not an expert in that field. That's true for everything, and more so for your own body, because it's the most valuable asset we have in this life, right?
Right, definitely. Here is the more, most valuable asset, because it is the first thing people noticed about you every time you meet them. And as you said that, don't use such product which are advised by your friends or some of your relatives as well. Doctor, sometimes, it you have might across some people that, they have used a lot of keratin treatment or something like that by seeing something on social media. So how what is your take on the different type of gummies? I have also seen like gummies are there for reducing the hair fall, and a lot of medicines as well. What is your take on that?
So, hair gummies, the biggest issue is the amount of sugar content it has. People tend to keep on popping these gummies for prolonged periods. I mean, they do have their benefits in terms of supplementation, but the sugar content is a bit of concern for us. So, to keep popping those on a regular basis is something, I mean, I'm not a big fan of. Obviously, at maybe for some time you can use it, especially in periods when you are not able to maintain your adequate nutritional supplementation. But to make a habit out of it, that daily taking a gummy is something I would not advise for. Occasional intake is fine. Just be careful about the amount of sugar you're taking in the form of these gummies. They sometimes form a big chunk.
Okay, so you have to be careful while taking it. And is it like that that taking these gummies or any product which is suggested by someone, or which somebody has seen on social media, they have damaged their hair due to that. So you have come across any such kind of people?
I mean, not with hair gummies. I want to, I'll be frank, I haven't seen such a case which has been damaged by hair gummies. But yeah, certain procedures and applying certain dangerous items on the scalp, those we do come across on an occasion. So yeah, I mean gummies, they are something which won't cause apparent damage immediately. So it's something you can take, but be careful with the amount of supplements you take.
Yes,
It
so
is
be
said that
careful.
most hair supplements, are more of a expensive urine, because most of it gets excreted in the urine. So you should be very wise with the ingredients you choose in a gummy, and it should be well researched and according to the WHO, FAO guidelines on supplementations and food grade products. So you shouldn't be taking these things lightly, and you should put in a research if you are opting to buy it yourself, or consult someone who is an expert in it.
Right. So if you are taking any such kind of products or in taking such kind of products, your body should definitely consult to expert about that. And doctor, there is a question from a viewer asking: is applying curd on the length of the hair is beneficial for the hair growth or not?
Flying curd.
Yes.
So I've seen people do it. I mean, it's a more of a traditional remedy. I personally haven't seen much benefit in people who are doing it. So I mean, I don't recommend it as a therapeutic procedure or in that way. If it's suiting you, then maybe you can continue, because it's not something which is harmful. But I mean, there's no literature to support such practice.
Right. So applying curd, applying like onion oil, uh, eggs directly. Are these
Onion oil.
things
I'll
help?
I'll talk a bit about onion oil. Yeah, onion oil has some evidence regarding helping in hair fall, and especially in certain hair disorders such as alopecia areata. So because it acts via counter irritation, mechanism. So onion oil might be beneficial in certain types of hair fall. We have some evidence to that respect, but applying egg or curd and all these things, they don't have too much of evidence in scientific literature That being said, I mean, many things we, even as scientists and researchers, don't know. So maybe in the future, if we do find, but as of now, we don't have that much evidence for me to suggest applying curd or eggs on the hair.
Okay, these are the home remedies or what we call nuske, which people tell that if you are having hair fall, you can apply this and that, and people usually apply it as well because when they are in problem or when they see that hair is falling and the hair is not good, they actually use it, and I think. That's why we are here to clear all the myths, and we have discussed about a very important topic, that is how to take care of your hair in winter. Any advice you would like to give to all the viewers watching this live?
So just in summary, our hair is very important social part of our life. People see it and judge us by our hair these days. So you need to maintain good hair care during winters. Avoid excessive hot water. Use gentle shampoos and cleansers. Use a good conditioner, and try not to use lot of heat styling equipments and products. And you can use, in fact, heat protectant sprays are available, so you can use that spray before you go in for a hair styling procedure. And try to maintain good humidity content in your room if you're using a lot of heating instruments and equipments. So these are the general precautions. If you follow, take a good diet, maintain good hydration, then you'll be fine with your hair.
Yes, a good diet, hydration, that would really help. Doctor, some people also have genetic problems of uh, falling their hair. So, is it like that they can also, if they take proper measures and precautions, it can be reduced?
So certain aspects which we inherit from our parents, like some people have thin hair throughout their family, running in their family. So it sometimes is very difficult to give different kind of a hair to a person who has been genetically blessed with thin hair. But yeah, following healthy hair routine and hair habits can lead to improvement in certain cases. And obviously, it's difficult to without comment specific measures without seeing actually what the issue is. But the more common ones we usually see is thinned out hair which run in families. So something, certain therapies do help in that also. So always go in for a consultation and discuss based on the specific needs of your hair.
Right. So go consult a dermatologist if you are having any kind of problem and you are not able to tackle it, because usually people think that they can use some products, they can help themselves out, but the dermatologists are here, so you can definitely go. Before we end this amazing live session, we talked about hair fall, how to prevent the hair fall in winter, how to take care of your hair in winter. Any takeaway message for all the viewers, doctor?
So the takeaway messages is that follow all the precautions for your hair care in winters, and maintain a good hydration, and you'll be quite happy with the hair during this season. And that's it. Just take care of your hair so that we don't have to meet for consultation.
Right. So take care of your hair. That is most important. Keep yourself hydrated. And as we have discussed, there are a lot of things that you can do to keep your hair good, nice, and healthy. Thank you so much, Dr. Bhawuk Dhir, for your valuable time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And it has been really a very informative sessions for our viewers, and it is great to hear you. And we really look forward for more such sessions in the coming time as well, Doctor.
Definitely looking forward.
Thank Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor. And thank you, viewers, for your participations in today's session. Stay connected to our beautiful Spotlight Skin page. Good day to all.